الآن ننتقل إلى درس آخر. Another lesson. درس جديد وهو درس الحال. الحال. فالحال is another grammar topic, another important grammar topic. So what is الحال? What is الحال? الحال in English we have adverb. So الحال is basically adverb. Okay. So but how do you use حال in Arabic sentences? So let us look at the قاعدة to understand what is this حال. Now, القاعدة الحال. So here they say what is حال? حال, or the literal meaning of the word حال is condition, the state. The حال, the condition. So we say كيف حالك? How are you? How is your condition? حال in Malay we also say حال, kan, keadaan. So this is from Arabic word حال. So what is حال in Arabic grammar? It is an ism. So حال must be an ism. It must be an ism, and the hukum is always mansub. Okay, of course, we have learned mansub, marfu, and also majrur. Okay, but it is an ism, and the state, the hukum is always mansub. Okay, so now this is the function of a hal. Okay, please underline this part. Hal yubayyinu hala sahibihi. Yubayyinu, or ism that yubayyin explains. So the word hal explains hala sahibihi, the condition of its owner. The condition of its owner here is referring to the person that the hal describes. So you have one word, it describes another person. So so that person is called the sahibihi, its owner. Okay? And when do you describe that? Waqta wuqu'il fi'li, the time where an action takes place. Okay, where an activity takes place. So what happened to that person during that activity? When he is doing that activity, what is his condition? What is his hal? Okay, so this is the basic definition of hal. Yubayyin hala sahibihi waqta wuqu'il fi'li, when an action takes place. So let us look at the example to understand this further. Al-jumla al-ula. So if you look at al-jumla al-ula, qara'a talibul kitaba. There is an activity. Ma huwa? What did the talib do? Maza fa'ala talib? At-talib qara'a. Naam. At-talib qara'a. Yes, he reads. Or this is fi'il madhi, he read. So the talib, the student, read the book. Okay. So now up to the word kitab, this is already a complete sentence. Qara'a at-talibu al-kitab. Now you want to explain further. How was him when he read the book? When he read the book, how was him? In what state is him? At that time he was jalisan. So ma makna jalis? This is from the fi'il jalasa. So jalasa,
Sitting.
sitting. Yes. So now you want to say the student read the book sitting. Okay. So you here this is the hal. This is the hal. So jalisan is called hal because why? Because he explains the sahib. So who is the sahib? Who is the person that is jalis? Talib. While he was doing this, while he was doing qara'a. So when you have a fi'il, and then you have another the state of that person when he is doing that fi'il, then this is called the hal. Okay, so jalisan. Rakam isnan is similar, the same sentence, the same meaning. Qara'a at-talibani al-kitaba jalisain. But the difference is that this is now for two talib. So we say qara'a at-talibani al-kitaba jalisain. So aina al-hal? Which one is the hal in the jumla? Of course, the hal is jalisain. Jalisain. Yes, so here. Because why this is considered as the hal? Because this explains whom? Who is the sahibul hal? Taliban. Yes, because he explained these two students when they were doing this, when they were reading the kitab. Now, so this is the hal. This is the hal. So if you look at the word jalis now, in the first jumla, it is jalisan, jalis. But now you have, they changed this to jalisaini. What do you think? Why do they change this from jalis to jalisaini?
Two people.
Because it is
Two person.
for musanna. Naam, Hafiza, for musanna. Because why? Yes, you need to refer to the sahibul hal. In the first jumlah, the sahibul hal is one person, then this is mufrad, singular. But if the sahibul hal, the word jalisain is referring to the two people, then of course this has to be changed to musanna. So we say jalisain. Okay, so hal must match the sahibul hal. Naam. Al-jumlatu thalitha, still the same jumlah. Qara'a at-tullab al-kitab jalisin. But now this is for jama' muzakkar. Jama' tullab. So again, jalisin, we change to jama'. Why? Because the sahibul hal is now jama'. Okay. So as you can see here, the hal will match the sahibul hal in terms of the number, singular, mufrad, musanna, wa jama'. And not only that, if you look at the word jalis, muzakkar or muannas?
Muzakkar.
Muzakkar, naam, sahih. Jalis muzakkar. Why muzakkar? Because the sahibul hal is muzakkar. Okay. Jalisain is also muzakkar because taliban muzakkar. Jalisin muzakkar because tulab is also a muzakkar word. So then they must, the hal must agree to the sahibul hal in terms of the number and also in terms of the muzakkar and muannas. So this is 1, 2, 3 is the example for muzakkar hal. But if you look at al-jumlatul rabi'ah and khamisa and also jumlah sadisa, now this is for muannas. Let us look at the jumlah. Ra'a at-talibu al-muallimata masruratan. Ra'a bermakna, anyone? Ra'a.
Watch.
To watch, to look. Yes. So the talib, the student ra'a, so he looked at the muallima. He looked at the teacher. Okay, so this is already a complete sentence. So the talib, he looked at, or you can say he saw the teacher. So he saw the teacher. Okay, now they add this word, masrura. Masrura bermakna?
Happily.
Anyone? Happy, naam, sahih. Masrur bermakna happy. Okay, so they say the student, he saw the teacher. So here it is an adverb, hal, it becomes happily. So the question is that, who is happy in the sentence? Is it the talib? Because this involves two people. Talib and muallima. And the hal is masrura. Who is happy here? Talib or muallima? What do you think?
Mu'allima.
Why do you say muallima? Of course, not because of this. Here they say muallima. Yes, it is correct. But there is another reason. Why do we say muallima?
Sebab mu'annas Ustaz, mu'allima masrur.
Mu'annas. Sahih, because masrura is mu'annas. Yes, good, Anis. Because masrura is mu'annas. When this is mu'annas, the sahibul hal must be the mu'annas word as well. Must be mu'annas word as well. So here, this is the sahib al-hal. So the sahib hal is no longer, if you look at the first jumlah, the sahibul hal is the fa'il, the one who read. But in the fourth jumlah, the sahibul hal is no longer the fa'il, but it is the maf'ul bi. So it is okay. You can have hal for fa'il, you can have hal for maf'ul bi. It is not a problem. It is up to you. Okay, who is the sahibul hal? But what is important is you have to make sure that the hal must match your sahibul hal. So in this case, sahibul hal is this, because you want to say the teacher was happy when the student saw him. Okay, so here it is referring to the muallima. Naam. Masrura is referring to mu'allim. Rakam 5 is similar. Ra'a at-talibu al-mu'allimataini. But now this is for 2. Mu'allimataini. Masrura, of course, you have to change to masrura taini. Because again, who is the sahibul hal? The sahibul hal is mu'allimataini, which is musanna words. And of course, masruratain has to be changed to musanna as well. Okay, so this is the hal and this is the sahib al-hal. Wal jumlatu sadisa, now this is for jama, muannas and jama. So ra'a at-talibu al-muallimat, this is the jama, muallimat, and the teachers, they were happy. When the students saw them, the teachers were happy. So muallimat masrurat. So if you look at the word masrurat, it's now changed to a jama word because the sahib al-hal is also a jama word. So this is the hal, and so far we have seen what is the connection between the hal and also the sahibul hal, and how do you change the form? Okay, how do you change the hal? So it must match the sahibu al hal. So far, any question? Okay, so that is
so
15,
the meaning of the sentence would be like the fifth example kan, ra'a at-talib al-muallimataini masurataini. It means that the students saw the student watched the teacher and the teacher felt happy.
Yes.
Is that the?
Yes, that is correct. The teacher felt happy.
It's not like a okay.
It is not the student. They saw the teachers happily, because if you just say happily, then it will refer to the students, right? So we need to, as long as you need to, of course, you need to translate it differently. As long as you understand who is happy, then it will be correct. So the teachers are happy when the students saw them, or the students saw the teachers happy. Yes. Yeah. Any other question? Okay. So if there's no question, now we move to the hukum. So just now we said that hal is isim. Okay, as you have seen, all hal in the sentences, they are all isim. Okay, they are not a fi'il. They are all isim. And they are mansub. Okay, I will come to this, okay, afterwards. Yubayyinu hal, we have also explained this. It explains the hal when something takes place. Okay. Now we move on to this part, mansub. Mansub. Okay. So mansub, in order for us to look at this mansub, we need to do some revision. Okay, we need to do a revision on the topic of mansub. Of course, you know that the Arabic word, they can be in the state of marfu, they can be in the state of mansub, and they can be in the state of majrur. Okay, another state is majrur. Okay, so for marfu, we know that when a word is marfu, how do you end the word? How do you end the word if it is mansub? What is the sign? If marfu, you will use a dhamma. Marfu, you will end the word with a dhamma. On, an. But now it is mansub. So how do you end a word when it is in the state of mansub?
Fathah.
Fathah. Yes, normally we will use a fathah. So you have seen this in the lesson of maf'ul bih, in the lesson of maf'ul mutlaq, also in the lesson of maf'ul li'ajli. So they are all mansub and you have to end them with fathah. So you can see the fathah in the example number 1 and also example number 4. Jalis, since this is a maf'ul, no, this is hal, so then it has to be in the state of nasab or mansub, and you end it with a fathah to indicate that it is mansub. Okay, so jalisan. The same goes to number 4. Muallim ra'a at-talibul muallimata masruratan. So why do you read masruratan? Why not masruratun or masruratin? Because this is hal. And hal is in the state of mansub. And since this is mansub, you end the word with a fathah. Okay, so this is the normally what we do. Okay, when the word is in the state of mansub. Okay, jalisan and also masruratan. But if you look at number 2, you don't see any fathah. Sahih? There is no fathah for the word jalisaini. Okay, why there is no fathah? Okay, look at the word number 2. Is this a mufrad word?
No.
La, haza,
Musanna.
musanna. Good. This is musanna. So let us look at musanna. So when a word is musanna, when a word is musanna, how many versions do you have for the word? We take, for example, the word Muslim. And you want to say 2 Muslims. What do we do?
Muslimani.
We say Muslimani. Okay, good. That is the first version. And another version is Muslimaini. Yes. Another version is Muslimaini. So this this is true for all musanna. So when you change a word to a musanna, sometimes you will use this word, this letter alif, Muslimani. But sometimes you will see they use ya instead, Muslimaini. They know this is just additional letter. They say that this nose is actually representing the tanwin. So in a normal word, you have a tanwin in the end, but for musanna, you don't put a tanwin. So instead of a tanwin, you put a nun. But what is important here is this part, the alif. And for the second version is the ya. So why is that? That sometimes we use Muslimani, we use the alif, and sometimes we use Muslimain. The reason is similar to the reason why do we say Muslimun, why sometimes you say Musliman, and why sometimes you say Muslimin. Muslimun is for mansub. Muslimun is for marfu. Musliman is for mansub. Muslimin is for majrur. So for Muslimani, the alif, this is the one, this is the version that you have to use if the word is in the state of marfu. So whenever it is marfu, you say Musliman, Musliman, Mu'minan, Taliban. So you end it with an alif. Okay, when it is in the state of marfu. For example, it is a fa'il. Okay, for example, it is a mubtada. Then you end it with an alif. So when do you use Muslimain? Since this is for marfu, then this will be for the other two. The other two here means this will be used for mansub and also for majrur. Okay, so this is where you have to use the ya version. Again, I repeat, Musliman, this word, you have this alif. So you say this is the alif version of musanna. The alif version is used when the word is in the state of marfu. But when this word is in the state of mansub, as in our example here, or if it is in the state of majrur in another lesson, then you have to use the ya version. Okay, Muslimaini. So with that, what we can say here is, so we remove this part, marfu. Okay, we focus on mansub. Mansub, most of the time you will end the word with a fathah. But the problem is that sometimes you cannot use a fathah, especially if the word is in musanna form. So when it is in the musanna form, based on what I have explained just now, what is the sign? You don't use fathah anymore. What do you use to differentiate between marfu and mansub? You use the letter. We no longer use the symbol. the vowel point. No. Now we use the letter to differentiate between these three. So alif is for marfu, mansub is using the ya. Okay. So here we say the alamat or the sign of mansub is ya. The letter ya. Al-ya. Okay, al-ya. Ya, which is the letter ya. Al-ya. Or this ya. So when do you use ya? When it is musanna. So again, when the word is in the musanna form, then you have to use the ya version. So this is what we have in example number 2 and also example number 5. So if we look at number 2, jalisaini. Okay, what is the other version of musanna? Just like Muslim just now, Muslimani, Muslimaini. So jalis, musanna will be jalisaini, and another one is yes, Anif? Jalisani, good. Yes, so this is another version. So you will always have two versions for musanna, either jalisaini or jalisaini. But the problem is, when do you say jalisan? See, you have the alif. So as we have explained just now, if you have the alif, this is to be used when it is marfu. Sahih? Marfu. So now it is not marfu because this is hal. It is mansub. Therefore, you don't use alif, you use the ya. You use the ya version of the word. So this is the indicator that the word is in the mansub form. So again, we don't use fatha anymore. We use ya. Okay, especially when the word is in the musanna form. The same goes to number 5. If you look at number 5, before we look at the word hal, look at this, mu'allimataini. Look at mu'allimataini. Why don't they say mu'allimatani? What do you think? Why don't they say mu'allimatani?
Because it's mansub.
Because it is mansub. Good. Why is it mansub? Why is it mansub? So mansub, yes, correct. But why? We need to answer another question. Why do you say it is mansub? Okay, in order to understand why it is mansub, we have to start from the beginning of the sentence. Ra'a, this is the fi'il. Ra'a. Who ra'a? At-talib. Then this is the fa'il. So the talib ra'a. He saw. Whom did he saw? Whom did he see? The mu'allim. This is the maf'ul bihi. And when it is a maf'ul bih, it is always mansub. Yes. So what you said just now, mansub is correct, but the reason is because this is maf'ul bih. So it is mansub. So again, when it is mansub and the word is in musanna form, we don't use fathah as in example number 4. No, now this time we use the ya version. That is why we say mu'allimataini and we don't say mu'allimatani. Okay? So this is again another word which is in the state of mansub and it is musanna at the same time. So you use ya version. Masruratain, happy, the teacher. So and they were happy. Okay? The students saw the teachers and they were happy. So masrurataini, again, if you look at the word, it ends. It's using the ya version. We have another version which is masruratani. But why don't we use masruratani? Because masruratani is for marfu. But now this is hal, then it needs to be in the state of mansub. Therefore, we use the ya. Alright? So this is what we say here, mansub, by using the letter ya. Any question for mansub? Sorry, for the second alama, ya. Okay, all right. Now we look at example number 3. If you look at number 3, Qara'at tullabul kitaba jalisin. Look at the word jalisin. This is in what form? Mufrad, musanna, atau jama'? This is referring to tulab. Tulab is jama', therefore the word jalisin is also jama'. Yes, Hafizah. What jama' is this? Is this jama' muzakkar or jama' muannas?
Jamak muzakkar.
Jama' muzakkar, naam. Jama' muzakkar salim. This is jama' muzakkar salim. And for jama' muzakkar salim, how many versions do we have? For musanna, we have 2 versions. Ani, aini. What do you think for jama' muzakkar salim? How many versions do you have? We take the word Muslim again. We take the word Muslim. So what is the jama' for Muslim?
Muslimun.
Jama' muzakkar salim. Salim because we don't change anything to the word. The word remains Muslim. We don't change to masalim or any other word. So that's why they call it sound, safe from any changes. Okay, so what is the jama' for Muslim?
Muslimun.
Muslimun. Sometimes we say Muslimun, and sometimes we say
Muslimin.
Muslimin. So again, you have 2 versions. You have 2 versions. Okay, 2 versions of the word. The first version is using the waw. The second version is using the ya. So what do you think? When do you use this waw? Is it for marfu, mansub, or majrur? What do you think? The waw is normally used when the word is in the state of marfu. If it is marfu, then you have to say muslimun, mu'minun. What else? Qari'un, and so on. Okay, so we use the waw. And if it is in the state of mansub or in the state of majrur, then you will say muslimin. Okay, you will say muslimun. So again, this is similar to musanna. When it is marfu, you use the first version, which is in the state waw. And when it is mansub or majrur, you use the second version, which is ya. Okay, muslimin. So what we can say here in the chart again, mansub, first alama is fathah, second alama, as we have seen just now, is ya, but this is when it is in the state of musanna. Now we use the same alama, which is also ya, but this is not for musanna, this is now for jama' muzakkar salim. So what we can do here is we can just add another arrow. We say ya mansub using the letter ya. This is used when the word is jama' al-muzakkar as-salim. Jama' al-muzakkar as-salim. Okay, so now you have another reason why you should use ya, okay, when it is in the state of in the form of jama' muzakkar as-salim. So this is the example number 3. Jalisin. Okay, so they use this ya instead of another version. What is another version? Another jama' for jalis, similar to muslimun. Muslim, muslimun, jalis,
Jalisun.
jalisun. Yes, so this is another jama'. But in this jumlah, we don't use jalisun because jalisun is only suitable when it is marfu. In this case, it is mansub. Therefore, we use the ya version. We say jalisin. Okay, so this is why we say jalis, and this is the alama for mansub. Okay, for alama for mansub. So now we have how many? We have 2 signs for 3 cases. This is the default case, fathah. But when the word is in the musanna form, you don't use fathah. You cannot have fathah anymore. You have to use ya. When it is in the third form, it is in the Jamak Muzakkar Salim form, again you use the version with that is with a ya. Okay, so now you have two alamat. Okay, now we go to the another alamat, which is for example number 6. Okay, look at number 6. Before we can see what is the alamat, look at number 6. Ra'a at-talibu al-muallimati masruratin. Okay, first before we look at masrurat, look at this muallimat. So as we have mentioned earlier, this is the fi'il, ra'a the fi'il, this is the fa'il, so this is the fa'il, and this is the maf'ul bih. So muallimat is also the maf'ul bih. So as we have learned maf'ulun bih, the hukum of maf'ulun bih is also mansub. So as in our chart here, when it is mansub, of course, most of the time we will use fathah. But if you see, of course, in number 4, you see the fathah, mu'allimata. So there is no problem. But what happened to number 6? Do you see any fathah in the end of the word mu'allimat? No, right? There is no fathah. Why? Why don't we say mu'allimata? When in the rule, they said you have to use fathah. But here they don't use mu'allimata. The same goes to the word masrurat. This is the hal. And from the lesson, we know that hal is mansub. So from this part, we know that when it is mansub, we have to use fathah. But the problem is you don't see any fathah. Why is that? Okay. The reason is this is jama muannas salim. This is jama muannas salim. Jam'ul muannas as-salim. The one that ends with alif ta. So the word for jama muannas salim, for example, the word Muslim. What is the jama muannas salim for Muslimah? It is Muslimat. Okay. Jama muannas salim, they can only accept tanwin and kasrah only. This is true for all jama muannas salim. Again, I repeat, for jama muannas salim, muslimat, mu'minat, talibat, salihat, and so on, you can only have either dhamma, muslimatun, talibatun, or kasrah, muslimatin, talibatin, mujtahidatin, and so on. You cannot have a tanwin. So you will never see they say muslimatan. No. So this is not possible for jama muannas salim. Okay. So since it is not possible to have fathah for jama muannas salim, so we go to the second one. Can we use ya instead of fathah? Can we use ya? What do you think? Ya, when do you use ya? When the word is musanna and when the word is jama muzakkar salim. There is no mention of jama muannas salim. So that means we have to use another alam. So that is why here I draw another arrow. So to indicate that we have to use another alama. So what is the alama? Okay, this is the alama. So they said, instead of using fathah, you have to use kasrah. This is a bit weird. Why mansub al-kasrah? This is only for jama. This is only when the word is in the form of jama, al-jam'ul mu'annas, jam'ul mu'annas as-salim. The one that ends with alif and ta. So, since it is jama muannas salim, you cannot have a fathah, so we replace the fathah with a kasrah. Therefore, in this jumlah, we don't say ra'at talibu muallimata. No, we say muallimati. We don't say masruratan. No, we say masruratin. Okay, so this is again another alama for mansub. Okay, to summarize. For this topic, this is actually another topic on its own. Okay, once you understood this, you can apply this to all words that are in the state of mansub. Whether it is maf'ul mutlaq, so you will see this. Whether it is maf'ul li ajli, you will see this. Whether it is maf'ul bi, you will see this. Any other mansub topic, you will always use this. Fathah, this is normally we try to use fathah. If it is musanna or jama' muzakkar, you use ya. If it is jama' muannas salim, you use kasrah. Okay. In fact, there is another reason. There is another alama, but since the example is not in our book, so I don't mention the last one. Okay. Any question for mansub? So now you understand why do we have these different alamat, jalisan, jalisain, and also masruratin. Okay, masruratin. Okay, so let us finish this. So now we have understood what is meant by mansub and together with the alama. And then here, wada iman ma. Wada iman ma, these two words, they came together, and normally, da iman ma, and normally and always. Normally, the hal yati. The hal comes in the sentence bimathabati jawabin. Bimathabati jawabin, as an answer. Li jumlatin istifhamiyah, as an answer for a question. For a question. So what is the question? Adatuha, the word that you use in the question is kaifa. So when they ask kaifa, you can use maf'ul, you can use hal to explain the reason or to give the answer. For example, they say wa ala sabilil misal. So this phrase means, for example, ala, we say ala sabilil misal, on the means of example. For example, if ala sabilil misal, for example, so this is the question. So they say, Kaifa qara'at talibul kitab? How did the talib read the book? How did he read the book? So yakunu jawabuhu. So the answer is qara'at talibul kitab. How was he when he read the book? Jalisan. So this is the maf'ul li ajli. So you see, the word jalisan can be used to answer the word or the su'al kaifa. This is what they mean here. Okay, so done with this part. And the last part is wayakun, we have explained this earlier. Wayakunul halu mutabiqan li sahibihi. And the hal, the word hal, must match. So they must agree to the sahib, to its owner, to the person that it describes. So they must be similar in terms of this. In terms of muzakkar, tazkir is muzakkar, ta'nis is muannas, ifrad is mufrad, tasniyah is musanna, and jama'. Okay, so we repeat. Hal, they must agree with the sahib, with its owner. In terms of what? In terms of tazkir. So tazkir is another term we use to refer to muzakkar. Ta'nis, another term we use to refer to muannas word. Mufrad, ifrad is another word we use to refer to mufrad, and tasniyah is another word we use to refer to musanna. And jama', they use the same word jama'. Okay, so that is the qa'idah li darsi al-hal. Okay, any question? We leave the exercise for another meeting, inshallah. Or you can try it first before we have our meeting. Now, any questions so far? Hal?
No, Ustaz.
Ada. Okay, no question.